Sup, Star Wars fan base? You probably clicked on this video expecting me to rant about how I think the return of Rise of Skywalker looks terrible, how much I hate The Last Jedi, or why I think Disney's ruining the Star Wars franchise and the prequels are perfect. You know what? Fuck all of you. Honestly, just fuck all of you. You're kind of the reason why Star Wars sucks now, because every fucking day I have to hear, "Oh, I don't like this," or "This is the worst Star Wars movie ever." Worst Star Wars movie ever. Ugh. So, in response to all this, not only is this a big fuck you to the Star Wars fandom, but it's also a massive, just, what am I talking about? I'm just kind of rambling right now. This is top 10, or at least the ranked Star Wars movies, in my honest to God opinion, because why not? Top 10s are big on YouTube, and I would do a tier list, but who gives a shit? So, number 10, and this is only going off the ones that I've seen, by the way. This is just, the ones I've seen. The Star Wars movies I haven't seen are the two weird Ewok movies. I haven't seen all the Christmas special, and I also haven't seen the Star Wars Clone Wars movie. I have seen the TV show, and the TV show kicks ass. And Rebels is but whatever. Anyway, so number 10 is... Number 10 is Attack of the Clones. Is this anybody's favorite Star Wars movie? Like, really, is this anybody's favorite Star Wars movie? Anybody's. There's barely anything good in this. Like, seriously, it's not the worst movie of all time. It's just an incredibly boring movie. Like, nothing happens. Sure, there's plenty of action going on, but you don't care about the characters. You don't care about anything. Sure, there's some decent actors like Christopher Lee, Ewan McGregor, and whoever the hell plays the Emperor, Ian something. But, jeez, it's just bad. Enough has been said about this movie. Don't watch it. Number 9, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. It's just a bad Star Wars movie. This is the precipice for bad Star Wars. The fact you go from, really practical effects, maybe a few blue screens and green screens, to mostly all CGI. Sure, there's some good models in here, but again, it's just shit. And ultimately, the characters suck, and the story makes no goddamn sense. And yeah, I didn't touch upon this when I talked about Attack of the Clones, but the action in all three of the prequel movies just feels fucking so choreographed and so just fake. That's what, at least the older movies and the newer movies, the action feels gritty and down and kind of realish, but this just feels over the top, like they're doing a dance. But it's not the worst Star Wars movie, and it's some people's favorite Star Wars movie. It's still to this day somehow. F it. Moving on. Number 8, Revenge of the Sith. I always held this one a bit above Rogue One, but then I realized something. Rogue One just looks better. That's what makes it win. But talking about Revenge of the Sith, I guess the only decent thing that the one thing that Revenge of the Sith did differently was the story's more put together this time, but that's not saying much. It's still confusing, and you don't like any of the characters. The guy who plays Palpatine is decent. He really has a time to shine, but at the same time, all the dialogue is corny. You don't give a shit about anything. It's just bad. It's watchable, yes, but bad. I guess if I had to say one thing, the action does feel at least a little more like grounded in this. It still feels like overly choreographed thing. How do you take like the Clone Wars cartoons, which do action that's over the top, and make that seem more realistic in cartoon form? You know, when Anakin's just wailing on Asajj Ventress in like the original Clone Wars series, you know, the 2D one instead of 3D one. And how does that feel more realistic than um than Obi-Wan and Anakin like twirling their lightsabers around and bam, it connects, which is still an awesome scene. And then they do the force push thing, but again, it just feels all choreographed and it's all CGI'd and shit. It looks beautiful, but all three movies look beautiful, but at the same time have aged poorly. Number 7, Rogue One looks good. K2SO is a decent character, and that's it. Got nothing really else to say. Number 6, Force Awakens. I was a huge defender of this when it first came out. I said, yeah, it's a clone, it's a episode 4 ripoff, but it's definitely better than the original movies, and not the original movies, the prequels, but it's not on par with the original movies. Well, it kind of is, but kind of isn't. It's got some good believe it or not, I actually do like the characters in this one. I know, weird, right? It's characters that I actually give a shit about. And it's not just a bland, ooh, look at this fan service thing like Rogue One. It's just, Star Wars. Good old-fashioned Star Wars adventure. Kicking up and you run it, and it's fan service done right. You run into Han Solo, then you find out that Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son. And yeah, moving on. Finally, oh wait, what am I talking about? This is number 5. Number 5, Solo, Star Wars story. This movie's just good. I don't know what the hell the dudes who directed the Lego movie were apparently was so bad that that they had to bring in whoever the hell was that, whoever the hell they brought in, but it still was a decent movie. The action scenes, I do like the characters. They're actually pretty interesting. I love how Kira was like Daenerys Targaryen's, whoever actress is, she's hot. She was like the stereotypical love interest who Han's gonna lose, and then she turns out to be a gangster, and she's tied into the criminal underworld, and you're like, oh no, she's gonna die not because Han can't save her, but because of her own will. And that Darth Maul cameo was okay. I hope the Kenobi show is decent. It's not gonna be though, because they already ended the Darth Maul Obi-Wan thing in Rebels. Whatever. Moving on. Yeah. Number 4. Return of the Jedi. Classic. I could list off all the greatest moments from this movie. It's flawed, yeah, but it's classic Star Wars. It's the original Star Wars trilogy at its finest. A great beginning, a great beginning, an amazing second part, and a pretty damn good conclusion. Could have been better, but what are you gonna do? And yeah. This one's gonna surprise a lot of you, angry fanboys. Last Jedi, number 3. Fuck you! And, okay, I'll be honest with you guys. I understand where your criticisms come in. I have legit criticisms about Return of the Jedi, about Solo, Rogue One, etc. And they're kind of cliche, they're simple. But that's kind of all Star Wars movies. But what is it about this that you guys find just so freaking annoying? You like nitpick this movie to death, but in the end, that's the thing. I think this movie's just been nitpicked to death because it's just so different. This happens, and it's like, oh, we haven't seen this in a Star Wars movie, so we're gonna be all like, yeah. And I like this movie because of the things that it does different. It does have flaws. I'll admit a flaw right now. Rose, she's a bad character, but she's not the worst character. I hope they improve on her in um, Revenge of, not Revenge of the Jedi, on Rise of Skywalker. I hope they do, but who knows? Okay, and let's screw it. I'll just skip to number 2 and number 1. You know it's gonna be New Hope, classic. Number 1, everyone's talked about it. What else can I say? Really? Those are my Star Wars. Those are my Star Wars picks. This video was supposed to be kind of an FU to the Star Wars fandom community, but really, there's dudes like Angry Joe who I respect. Angry Joe who I respect, and Red Letter Media, and they don't like this movie. But then there's dudes like I Hate Everything who defend this movie and understand that it's just just simple. It's simple, likable entertainment that does stuff differently. And oh yeah, I'm talking about Last Jedi. I'm sorry, this is like one take, and I'll edit this, but this is just me fucking around. Anyway, that's my daily vlog, I guess. Star Wars. I hope Rise of Skywalker is decent. Also, Mandalorian. I'll watch that because, looks okay. See ya. Next time I'll do chapter 2 of the fanfic vlog.